Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome. All right, guys. I apologize. Let's go here. Who's excited? Who's excited? 70K Bitcoin. This could be the week. This could be the week. Let's do a vote. Let's have some fun. Who here feels $100,000 this week or up to this weekend? There you go. $100,000, 100K this weekend. Put a one if you think that's gonna happen. Put a two if not. I'm curious before I give my 2 cents. Something about this. Something about this. This long weekend. This Good Friday, Easter, Monday, and to saying April. It's good. It's like a lot of people, what you guys are hearing, what you guys are sensing. I've been wrong. I like being wrong a lot. It teaches us to be planned for both, right? So a strategy, it goes up or down. I mean, Manuel Johnson's been really good with 100,000. But here, all right, some people are saying some one, some saying two, some saying April. But guys, post in the chat, plan for both. Plan for both. Okay. So that means if it happens tomorrow, $100,000 tomorrow, are you ready? Right. So I titled this broadcast, Are You Ready? Are you ready? Right. So just walking up everybody here, Claudia, Catherine, Rita, Lorraine, Olga, Heidi, F. Johnson, Anto, Petra, Patricia, Amarindia, Sharon, Diane, Carl, Val, Isaac, John, Jim Rock, Jamie, Nally, Linda, John D. All right, so I hope it goes up little by little, as Ant was saying. Um, yeah, so this week it's supposed to be our um NFT metaverse week. I'm parking that. I'm purposely parking that, I guess. Um, I guess I want to use this as a catch up month. Um, let's just use that. This is catch up month, guys. Post in the chat your biggest, um, obviously, if possible, foundation kind of question, everything we've talked about. So let's use this as a catch up week. I will teach. Let's see what I want to see the state of the academy, the crypto academy. Where are we? Are we ready with Kinesis Exchange? Are we ready? We've talked about approve addresses slash allow list. Are we ready with our sell orders? Are we ready with our Kinesis? By the way, this is still closed. I apologize. I was like, I wonder if Heidi and Jamie did it already. I'm like, I gotta get into this. It's like, oh, it's like right where I have to cash out. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna open this and do it. But guys, post in the chat. Um, Maybe let's use this as a catch up week. I can't teach new content, but let me see where we're at, right? Everybody's feeling comfortable where we're at. We're about to cash out, but post in the chat your biggest pain points, a blocker, or in this case, what you want me to repeat again. Someone posted the foundations. I know I missed it. Someone posted it. If you can repost it again, the Kingdom Foundations at 2 o'clock. But what is that? Actually, you can even, I love to talk to people too, so I can get here, right? So hard wallet was time quiz. You did it, Jamie. You like it. Heidi, Pax Gold. Is this foundations? There you go. I didn't talk about Pax Gold, sale orders, sell orders, selling orders. Just gonna try to get a feel. Anybody else? You can raise up your Zoom hands or you can unmute yourself. I think I gave you guys the ability to unmute yourself as well. So let's use this week four, week four for catch up week. Let's do catch up week. We got a lot covered. I know we used the Tuesday, Thursdays for catch up sales orders, and to was saying sell orders, sell orders. Um, so that's what I mean. Maybe okay, so too so far for sell orders. Maybe I'll just go one by one in each of this in this order, trying to understand. Okay, let's go with what's more important. The sell. Obviously, we all know how to buy. Okay, we all know how to buy. Selling is the same thing the other way. There you go. I think the next question is limit orders. Should we do limit orders? should we do limit orders in foundation? Um, I want to do market orders. Obviously, we're on Monday to Friday, so you can just do a market orders, but we're trying to squeeze that in to the best price. Should we do limit orders? This is a foundation cast. Should we cover it? Do we do limit orders? Let me think. Because in the weekend, right? So if what happens when Bitcoin's hitting the weekend or you're traveling and you want to do limit orders. Um, okay, so when Bitcoin hits, let's just go into scenario, whether we're seeing it going up. I think that's what's gonna happen, right? We're gonna see 70K. Oh my gosh, we're gonna see 85K. Then we're gonna see 90K. Then we're like, oh, should we sell? Should we buy? Then we're gonna see 95. But is that 1 week, 1 month, or 1 day? So this is where I want us to get ready. What happens if this happens in 1 day? So in this case, so let's go with 1 day, which I think it might happen 1 day. If this happens 1 day, we're gonna call an emergency meeting. We're probably gonna go. I mean, now we're getting ready as a team. I'm gonna ring the bell. I'm gonna say, hey guys, I'm gonna go live right now. I'll probably leave the call on, right? I know you can do 6 or 8 hours or 12 hours of calls. So it's just on. And then we're supporting. I'm not going to stay in the call. My team and I there, we'll probably do shifts supporting the community. So that's one scenario where it goes 100,000 and we're like, we're watching it, right? Even in this call, we're watching it 70, 80, 95. Should we sell or not? And then I'm gonna make the call. I'm gonna say we cash out that first few one, right? 1/16. It's like I feel like we're just gonna sell twice. I don't know why. This is what I sense. I feel like we're gonna sell maximum 3 times, right? I'm trying to process when we're actually gonna sell. The first one is I did call it up. Now let's do some sharing screen. I did say, okay, let's go with the first sell we're gonna do. So are you ready? Okay, the all-time high was what? 75K. 73. 73. We reached 73K. Okay, we just went 64 today, right? 25th. Today's the 25th. Okay, we went to 64 to 70K. That was a 6K jump. Okay, 70. If we did another 6K jump, we're at 76. But I feel like once we breach the 73K, so you guys know, when we breach the 73K, I will make a signal to sell. Maybe I should write this down for all of us. Easel crypto plan. So once we breach, I'm talking about like 5% of 73K. Let's do that. Calculate 73 times 5% of that. Oh, that's 73. 73. Oops. 73 times 1.5%. 76. Around the 76K-ish. Um, I am going to suggest we take 1/16th. 1/16th or less of all your cryptos to Kinesis, to number one, actual precious metals, two, Kinesis silver, Kinesis gold, and then three, Pax gold, and then the fourth. Now that we're talking about this, we should. Okay, what am I gonna do? We're actually gonna take precious metals. We're gonna get Kinesis silver, Kinesis gold. I was doing research on, still haven't done it, but most likely there's a new one, Tether Gold. So that's stuff to do. So Emmanuel, we need to I gotta do due diligence to Tether Gold. Right, there's Tether Gold. Markets. Bitfinex, not good because it's not available in Coinbase. Maybe I have to do that. That's my own thing. We're gonna go research Kinesis, Tether Gold. Obviously, we're going in eights, right? Tether Gold. What's Tether Gold? Tether Gold is XAUT. And we do things, the Midas Academy, we do things in eights, right? 8 exchanges, 8 wallets, 8 sell orders, 8 ways to get precious metals. So, I mean, I would break this down, right? Kinesis Silver, well, they're the same thing. Kinesis Silver, Kinesis Gold, in my opinion, we treat that the same. It's like, okay, I have in Precious, I have it in Kinesis, I have in Pax Gold. That's 4 already, 4 of the 8. What are the others? I mean, that's the best of our abilities. If we were to break this down, I mean, let's say retirement funds, precious metals. Okay, so we're just getting ready, and then obviously there's some in volts. There you go. And post in the chat, help me out here. First, Jesse is called the other 2 for precious metals, right? So now the other 2, what is it, right? In volts, retirement funds. That's what I have for the precious metals. So obviously we're cashing out here. You're like, oh, why is everyone doing this? Because you're like, you don't want to get like something new, and you're like, I don't know how to do this type of deal. We take, so now we're like, oh, okay, this is what we're gonna do. Can I go this to the left? Okay, any questions on this? So once we breach the new all-time high, 1/16th, so we know we're like, oh, I got actual precious metals, Kinesis Silver, Kinesis Gold. And then I see your hand, Claudia. I'm just gonna show you guys the 2 things that we're gonna do. Going to suggest number 1. We take the number 2. I feel like near 100K. I feel like it's gonna happen so fast. Near 100K. We take, in this case, 7 out of 8 of all your cryptos. And then, like, Manuel Johnson said 100K, enough is enough. This is where greater than 100K, this is where the limit orders come into play. And I think I'm gonna talk about this more, just accelerator and the advance, because let's just make sure we're ready for this, right? I think this is what's gonna happen. I think we're gonna have 3 things, 3 ring the bell. One is, oh, it's happening, guys. It's happening. Whether it's 86, anytime we breach the 73K, guys, be ready. Be ready. You're about to pull out. We're about to do it. It's right there. The birth pangs are happening. I'm about to give birth. And then bam, we just hit 100K. We breach 100K. And then maybe this third one is more for the accelerator and the advance and the bit where we pull out above 100,000. So, right. Okay. So let's just talk about this, making sure we understand this. I know it's repetition. Okay, go ahead, Claudia.
When you say that we're doing it incrementally, you mean like if I had 100% in Bitcoin, that I would take 1/8 for the first pullout, transfer?
Yeah, I know we're gonna go, like, it's gonna be really high around 100,000. The whole part of this exercise is so your exit plan, right? So I said around the 1/16th. I don't want it to be the full 1/8 because I'm trying to maximize the growth. But that number could be plus or minus whatever that is, right? So let's say you have 8 Bitcoins, you're not gonna pull out the whole 1 Bitcoin. It could be very small, right? Like, okay, I just wanted to do the test run. How much does it make sense to buy actual precious metals, right? So I'm gonna buy a silver coin. Ours is $31, yours is $20. All right, I'm just gonna buy one silver coin so I know what that is, right? Maybe it's a minimal of the actual precious metals, but the point of that first test is now you know, oh, I can't even cash this out. Oh, there's these fees. Oh, there's these taxes. Oh, I don't even know where to buy actual precious metals. That's that whole piece. So I think it could be a very, very small number, but people's portfolios range from 500 to 500,000
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
million. It's like, what
Mhm.
is that percentage, right? So I
Right.
think it's a
Mhm.
very minimal amount. Maybe my 116 is even small or too big, depending if you have a lot, that's too big. If it's too small, it's probably the right size. I think it's more of the minimal amount, like maybe
Mhm.
an ounce of silver. So you have an idea. Oh, this how much it costs to buy one. Oh, it's premium. Like, oh my gosh, there's a premium now, right? And we'll discover, wow, I can't even buy actuals now. The premium is up, stuff like that. All right. So
Mhm.
it's a small amount. I think it's not even an actual. I think the goal is, let's go back to the chart. Because like, I mean, I want you guys to trigger certain numbers, right? So when we do this with the actual precious metals, it's more of the cashing out. Um let's go back to this. Move cryptos from software or hardware wallet to exchange to sell it, right? You're about to sell it. I want you guys to trigger this one. You'll discover if it's more than 1,000, you might, or 1,000 or 10,000, you're gonna trigger certain things. So for instance, Coinbase is a 48-hour period, cool down period when you add an allow list. But Gemini, so I discovered Gemini is 7 days, and Gemini, sometimes Gemini could even put you to Gemini jail once you start dealing with $10,000 and up. So I want you guys to discover that. Uphold, what is that? There's some cryptos you can't even withdraw, right? You have to actually sell it. You can't even withdraw it. So things like that. I want you guys to discover that with all the different types of coins you guys have. You're like, oh, some of them are different networks, some of them are different price. So I think it's like that minimum amount for practice. So just like the XLM, is it $1? Is it 1 cent? Is it $10? Is it $100? It's just that minimum amount. Because I want you guys to trigger certain things. You'll see, once again, Coinbase is 48 hours for the allow list. Gemini is the 7 days. I don't have those triggers anymore. I don't know what Uphold has, Kraken, and the Canadians, the Binance Global. I don't have any of those. So I don't know what you guys might trigger, and I don't want you guys to be caught in the surprise. Does that make sense, Claudia?
Yeah.
Yeah. So minimal amount. Because then now the big one, right? Now I'm processing this with you guys. I'm an external processor. Now the big one happens. Let's say yours, Claudia, balloons up to 10K. Most of you guys are gonna be above 10K. You guys are gonna be triggering certain things because now you're operating. You had a personal account, but now you're operating with business-like numbers. I'm gonna call it out. Some of you guys might be in Coinbase jail or Gemini jail. That's why I suggest you guys start cashing out in 9K chunks. Keep this in the back of your mind. Do not go over 10K, right? Post in the chat. Don't go over 10K cashing out. Don't go over 10K because the moment you do that, just like the bank's threshold number of the 10K for money laundering, the exchanges operate that way. They're like, what is that number when people start there's a potential hack or something weird is happening where we want to protect our customer's account. It's that 10K number. So when you guys start passing the 10K number, you're like, oh, why is there a hold? Right? So when you're cashing out, you just made 100K. Do not put all 100K in Coinbase. Put like 9K, and you're like, oh, it's a 48-hour hold. So now it's stuck there for 48 hours. So now you can't even use the Coinbase. And you're like, are you gonna put more all the 100K there? No, you should have your other 8 exchanges. Now you go to Gemini and you put in over 1K, and they're like, oh, it's a 7 days, right? And then now what are you gonna discover with the Uphold and the other exchanges? What are the holds? Right. So with that being said, for you to discover that, and that's why I said you do it in chunks. You do it in chunks. 'Cause now you don't want it getting stuck. Here's the other part: XRP, Ethereum, Shiba, XLM. The network can go crazy like Solana, and it could be stuck. right? This is the first time you guys are hearing this. Blockchain, there are rare instances where a blockchain transaction can be stuck. And in this case, either it fixes itself, or I think you have to feed it more gas fee to get it unstuck, but then you're going to discover that, right? That's why you're like, don't do big chunks. Do it in chunks. That's why when we ring the bell, I'm going to say this again, do them in chunks, guys. Guys, post in the chat, do it in eights, do it in eights. So like when we're cashing out, do it in eights. Why? You do it all and got stuck. You're like, what the heck just happened? Whether it's bad transactions, it gets stuck, you're in exchange jail. You don't want that. That's why if you have 1/8, you're like, oh, I can deal with that 1/8 2 weeks later, 1 month later, 1 year later, and then now you have the other 7 to do it right, right? So do it in eights. Is this helping, Claudia? I think that was a good question.
Huh. Yep. I have another question. How about when I deposit my crypto, because I've never done this, in my in the wallets, and I say I had the money in my wallet, but my hardware wallet, my ledger or treasure, and I wanted to purchase Knesset Gold. Can I do a transfer directly from my wallet up to Knesset, or I have to go through the exchange?
I said that for certain coins, right? I said that list. I have to log into my Kinesis. Isaac, so Emmanuel, can we make a note on this? Let's get the actual coins in Kinesis. Actually, I think we can even pull that real quickly. So if you go to CoinGecko, know that answer to that statement. So if you go to CoinGecko.com, it will list the coins in the Kinesis exchange. So in this case, you type in Kinesis money, the exchange, you can see their markets. So it's very so good. So now if it's any of these coins, Claudia, I'll put this in the chat. You can go directly to Kinesis exchange. Okay, so very good questions. If it's any of these coins, XRP, XLM, DAX, all of that, you can go directly. And that's what I said. I want you guys to test it, right? The micro amounts here is the QR code. So only these coins, right? So obviously most of Prophet Robin's coin is not in this list. But you can see here which coins that you can put in, right? Looking at all these coins here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Any more questions?
No, that's mine.
Okay. Thanks, Claudia. Let's keep going. Let's see if there's anything in the chat. Let me do it in eights. Let's go Heidi, then Rita. Go ahead, Heidi.
Oh, hi. Just a little comment about the Kinesis hard wallet. It does deal, you can store more coins, a variety of coins, than what the actual Kinesis exchange will allow
Right.
you to work. Okay. I was actually putting my hand up because you're talking about the allow list. So when I was working with Coinbase, what I was thinking I could do is start my allow list, but as long as it wasn't here, I thought I could do other things with Coinbase, but no, it locked me out. I couldn't do anything until those
Right.
addresses that I had. And then I could only deal, now I'm like an allow, so basically it's allow list only. Like if
Correct.
you start working with allow list, those are the only places where you
Correct.
can remove stuff, which I wasn't anticipating. So
guys, make note of
it's
that.
kind of a
Once you
big
turn that
deal.
on, you can turn it off, by the way, Heidi. I don't know if you knew that. You can turn
You
it off.
have to now wait 48 more hours.
Correct. So I
Anytime
want you guys
change
to
it.
discover this now, right? So
Yeah.
let me, I don't know. Keep going, and then I'll.
Okay, so my question is, I noticed that Gemini does have that, and you just mentioned it today, but I
Let's
haven't.
go back. Before you go to Gemini, can we
Oh,
stick
okay,
to Coinbase? Can we stick
sure.
to Coinbase?
Coinbase.
Are you done with the
Okay.
Coinbase? Are you done with the Coinbase before the Gemini?
So, well, actually, my bigger question, I think, is, are you now, I wasn't sure what you were suggesting, like don't even use the allow list because it completely blocks
good.
you if you haven't
Very good.
already added the address.
Very good. So this is what I want you guys to discover, because all your personal accounts, when you guys reach the 10K mark, in fact, some of you that reaches all of a sudden 1K mark, they're going to hold it for 48 hours unless you use the allow list. So automatically they're going to think, what's going on with Heidi? Oh, now she's trying to withdraw 2,000. They're going to put a hold on you. And then you're going to have to do a verification again for each transaction.
Okay, so even though the allow list may
No. This is allow list turned off. This is allow list turned off. So allow list turned off in
Yeah.
Coinbase.
Hmm.
When you start dealing with big numbers, whether 1,000,
Uh-huh.
2,000, 10,000, they're going to put a hold unless you do a live verification. So it could be live, it could be more documentation, it could be more bills.
Yeah.
Every transaction. Why? They want to protect you, right? They want to say, oh my gosh, it's
Okay.
hiding, getting hacked. The reason why you want to turn on allow list to bypass that.
Okay, so then it's worth the time now where we are realizing what type of addresses we really are going to be working
Correct.
with and fooling with it. But what we need to realize is that once we start doing stuff, we're not going to be able to add new stuff without a 48-hour period. So we
Correct.
might feel kind of locked out, but if it does allow things to flow more freely, then it'll be worth it.
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
So that's
Okay.
why just in Coinbase, that's what's gonna happen. So like that's what happens. Like, oh my gosh, why am I doing verification again? It's to protect you from hacks.
Mhm.
And people would try to withdraw on you. So they're gonna automatically put 48-hour hold. And then when you turn the allow list, that's why I want you guys to do the whole flow from start to finish with all your coins. Add your list in there. Because if you don't do the allow list, you're gonna have this other headache, which is oh, I have to verify again. I have to do a live. I have to go scan a QR code. I have to put my passport again. You're going to do that for every transaction to get a real-time withdrawal. That means, Heidi, if you want this now and say Coinbase approve this, you have to do this every time. And even if you
Yeah.
do that, they can choose to put you on hold still.
Yeah, it's time consuming, but yeah, I can see it's being worth it. Another thing too is if you just play with it and like just check off the allow list, you already turned it off, so you've already initiated whatever 48
Very
period. You
good.
can't just,
Very
I
good.
was like, oh, but I didn't mean to, like it's still like 48 hours, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Another thing too with YubiKey, I have YubiKey set up on my laptop, but now because there's a coin we were trying to get on Coinbase, and we could only do it on the phone with the app. So now my phone app is kind of locked out because I had set up YubiKey for my desktop and I'm aligning the same accounts. So what I've had to do, just so y'all know, is I do have the YubiKey that I can put in my phone, but it's not set up yet. So I had to do the full, and it takes about 40 hours practically. They had to re-verify me. So now I'll be able to also add my YubiKeys to my phone because there's no way to connect the two devices. I had just set it up for the
Yeah. Are you talking about
laptop.
the Coinbase exchange?
Yeah, yeah.
Because you have to downgrade your YubiKey to the two-factor authentication, or else you can't add allow list addresses.
Oh, I wasn't trying to do the allow list. I was just trying to open up a Coinbase on my phone, but since my main account on my laptop required YubiKey access, I couldn't work with my phone yet. So I had to go through the whole, but I didn't even try to do allow list with my
So
phone. We were just
you
trying
just
to get a coin
so
that
you
could
just
only
so you're just giving you guys a heads up to do Coinbase allow list. You have to downgrade your YubiKey to the two-factor authentication, or you can't even add. Have you added a list yet?
Oh
Or you
yeah. Yeah. Oh, I've been able to. And it has
with
me just touch it when
the YubiKey?
mhm, with my desktop.
Hmm, that's
Yeah, it
interesting.
makes me touch it each time I add another address.
We had to downgrade it. That's interesting. Maybe that's a Canadian thing, but from what we've seen, we had to downgrade it because that's interesting because it's allow list. I have to relook at it, but all I know is we had to downgrade it. Maybe they upgrade.
Oh,
Just give me this.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So if I may, so then for Gemini, is that the same thing, but we're just dealing with 7 days instead of 40
Correct.
hours?
Gemini,
Okay.
guys, make note. I don't know the other exchanges because I don't have those things anymore. Those cooldown periods. Gemini is 7 days. Yep. And that's why now we're being ready, and that's why the 8 exchanges come into play. Because if
Yeah.
you're stuck and it's a traffic jam, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to cash out. That's why this first push, we're trying to just test it out. Like you can even do the test out now. Obviously we're not waiting for it, but like when we're doing this, you don't want that all to be stuck. You're like so dependent on Coinbase or Gemini, it's stuck. And then now you sold everything in Coinbase and Gemini, and it could be stuck. That's a high risk. You want to mitigate risk when you're doing this. That's why in 8 exchanges. So
Okay. Thank you.
no problem. Ooh, okay, guys, I have to go to the AI. I think we have one more for Rita, and then I think I have to go to the AI. We can answer more tomorrow, but now it's good that we're processing this. Go ahead, Rita.
Okay, I had multiple questions, but my first question, when you said cash out in chunks, was that for Bitcoin only or for all coins?
All the coins, because the whole exercise is the whole flow, right? So you know the whole flow, and we do it in eights just in case something goes wrong. Your all your funds are not affected, right? So whether it's stuck in the exchanges, stuck in your wallet, or you did some oops, you don't want to make that mistake, right? So that's why when you do chunks, think in eights. So when we're cashing out, even though it's 1/8, depending on how big that is, you might have to divide that into smaller chunks just in case things happen. Because what I find is when there's wrong address, stuck in exchange, stuck in the wallet, you want to make sure you're like, oh, now I know type of situation,
Right,
right?
because I couldn't afford Bitcoin like you, Erwin, but I do
Yeah.
have Shiba, and I know Bitcoin is supposed to be the driver. So
Yeah.
from my understanding, when Bitcoin goes up, it's going to drive all the other coins to potentially
Correct.
go up. And why I
Correct.
have the biggest amount of my coins is in Shiba Inu. So what I did do on some of the exchanges that I was on, I kind of set some sell limits. But when I went and looked at the sell limits, it's way more than an eighth, I believe. So
So
my
remember, only leave in the exchange what you're willing to lose. Okay.
even
So-
if you set sell limits, you could potentially lose it because
No,
from my
you can lose it,
understanding,
meaning you can lose.
you froze.
Lose everything in that exchange, right? Nothing, no exchange. I'm good on the other side. All right, guys, I'm back. Internet connection is unstable. Sorry about that, Rita. So what I'm trying to say is, all right. So what I was trying to say is, what was I trying to say? What was I trying to say? Now I
You
forgot
said
what I
only leave on
Yes, there you
exchange
go.
what you
Only
want to
leave
lose.
what you're willing to lose in exchange. Because number one, it can get stuck, right? You don't want that to happen, especially when all your cryptos are in there. This limit orders, people are saying, XRP at $70, Shiba is $1. Guys, that's not what's happening right now. This limit order strategy of it going crazy higher, that's I mean, like, that's it. I'm gonna stop right there, Rita. Only leave what you're willing to lose in exchange, right? Because no exchange is bulletproof. It can get stuck. It can get, I don't, for sure it shouldn't be getting hacked with all the things that you're putting into practice. Something can go wrong, but don't only leave what you're willing to lose in the exchange. Yeah. So there's that number, right? There you go. I think I shared this already, Rita, where what is that number that you're okay to lose, but you want these gains? Don't go all in, but okay, is it I'm okay to lose $100 or I'm okay to lose $25 or none at all, right? So how much are you dealing with those exchange? How much are you leaving in exchange?
How much am I leaving on the exchange?
Yeah,
Okay, when I set
the
the sell
most.
limit, the sell limit orders, like let's say I got 50 million Shiba Inu coins. So I set sell limits, and this is how I set it. And tell me if this is a good idea. Like I may set it that when it gets to 15 cent, sell X
Yeah,
amount.
yeah. So
When
so
it
yeah,
gets to
right
20
there, right
cent,
there. That's not what we're advising you guys. I did have a class on the Shiba Inu sell limits, but right now I suggest put it in a hardware wallet or software wallet, because if that gets stuck, it's gonna be stuck, right? Especially when there's the exchange traffic jam. That's not what we're advising right now, and that's why I said limit orders. I'm gonna cover that only in accelerator and advanced, not even in the foundation. If you're gonna do
okay.
that, if you're gonna do that without a Minus Academy suggestion, do it at your own risk. But I suggest right now, especially if you're a foundation, not yet. Don't do limit orders for now.
So
'Cause
just take it, take the sell limits off and just put it on the ledger or something.
correct.
Okay. But my question is, because when we get ready to sell it, and you're saying there's traffic jams, then it may be a problem with getting it off the ledger, putting it on to sell. Or you're gonna tell us when to actually do
Co-
that?
Correct. When we're gonna do that, I'm gonna look at the traffic to see it's there, and I'll be recommending exchanges where to put it in, where it's not gonna get stuck. And that's what we're doing them in chunks of
Okay.
8, right? In chunks of
Okay,
8.
well,
Let's say we're gonna sell $80. We're not gonna put all 80 in there. We'll probably sell $10 each because like you don't want to get it obviously with the fees and all that, but you don't want all your money getting stuck, right?
Okay, okay, thank you.
All right. Okay. All right, guys, I got to go to the AI. Post your questions. We'll go deeper into this on Tuesday, and I'll see what I'm going to teach more on Wednesday for that piece. All right. See you guys.